Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joy Lageray, and I'm interviewing Brian Burnette today. There's a little static on the line. Maybe we'll get that cleared up as we go through the interview. And before we get started, Brian, and I introduce you and start our interview, I do want to give a shout out to my sponsor, Luscious Moss Studio. It is owned and operated by Chad Christ and Edward Washington. He is very creative, collaborative environment. Originally, he was set up for drummers and guitarists, but he does do other production work. So if you have needs, go on Facebook, look up Chad Quist or Luscious Moss Studio. And with that, we'll start with the interview with Brian. Hi, Brian.
Not on my line, first side. Hi, hello.
All right. So you sound getting a little sound there, a little better, still a little staticky. But I would like to know. We're talking with Brian Burnette here.
I'm not sure what's happening with the static, but
okay. So we have Rachel Hoover who's joined us online. So we have a listener here. And I would recommend that you go to I did send Brian, I sent you a text on how to get linked in here. It's called Interview Guest on StreamYard. Mm-hmm. So if you go out to the internet and go on that, it will help a little bit, I think, clear up some of this. So with that, how did you get into?
Okay. I get this figured should I get into music in general?
Yeah, this is impossible.
I was always.
Brian, we're still having technical difficulties. Can you log out and log back in?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay, yep, let's come right back. Okay.
Okay, well, we're trying to connect here with Brian Burnette. He's in a studio in Seattle, and he's having a little bit of feedback problems. Sometimes this happens. It could be his headset, it could be the system, who knows. But we'll try to get him back here. So in the meantime, I hope you all have been enjoying your week and all this hot weather. No fun sometimes. I did get through the last 2 weeks on vacation. We had a lovely anniversary. And I do have some shows coming up in the future next Tuesday. And I'll just click on here and see if I can figure out who I'm interviewing. I have a man called Joel Gamble, and he'll be with us then. So I see Brian has come back. Let's see if we're fixed. Okay, Brian, how's it going?
Okay.
That's clear.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
You're perfect. Fantastic. You're perfect, Brian. Oh, so we have another listener in the meantime. Her name is Rosie.
Okay. Hi, Rosie.
Hi, Rosie. I'm glad you joined us. So we were at the question of how you got into music, right, Brian, and when and where. Obviously, you have a very interesting background.
Yeah. So, ever since I was a little kid, very small child, my mother loved to sing. We would sing songs in the car, all the time up through, from when I was a little kid, and even like when I was in middle school, I was in the choir, and my mom and I would sing the different parts for the songs that we were doing in the choir performances.
Okay, we got to have you repeat that because that problem's back again.
I just lost sound again. Hang on.
I just love electronics. Sorry about that, everybody, but this just happens.
Okay. All right. There we go.
Okay.
Anyway, okay. So anyway,
Hold
music
that thought
has,
just a minute, Brian. I do want to greet a couple of our people.
okay.
To the person who just said hi with no name, we can't see who you are. Please put your name on when you make a comment. And I see Jerry Craddock, and he's saying, hi, Brian and Joy.
Jerry.
Yeah, no, it's Jerry Craddock. The
Yes,
big guy.
sir.
The big, oh,
Yes.
you're
Yep.
never there when he sings, are you?
I know Jerry. I know
Okay. All
Jerry.
right.
Oh yeah.
All right. He just asked to join so he could see you. All right. So
Excellent.
we were at that. You sang with your mom in the parts in church,
Yes.
and from there, what happened?
So, as far as singing goes, it's always been a great, beautiful outlet for me my entire life. And then when I was 14, my older stepbrother, he came home from a mission in Florida, and he had a little acoustic guitar, and he performed this two chord song and sang it, and I was like,
Oh,
I want
yeah.
that's what I want to do. Yeah, I was 14 years old, and
14.
so he showed me some chords, um, 3 or 4 chords, that I could use to switch around and play stuff, and I immediately wrote a song.
Do you still
And
do that song?
no, it was a silly song that I wrote about, a girl,
Ah,
and
a lot of
yeah,
songs out
yeah.
there about girls.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, every song starts as a feeling, and as we exercise those feelings through music, things evolve and grow, and it's a beautiful thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you started out with what, 3 chords?
Yep. I started out with 3 chords, and then I got a chord chart and started figuring out how to play other chords, and I had some peers in high school who played that I looked up to, and so I learned, you know by watching, uh, and I just kept writing songs with the knowledge that I had, and I ended up writing a cool song my junior year in high school. I wrote a song about Sesame Street and growing up, and
Cool.
everything, and I played it in the talent show, at the high school talent show, and I won the talent show.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
it was so cool, yeah, and then I actually was asked to go down into the elementary school and play it for the elementary kids down there, and that was really cool. It was really fun.
Yeah.
And to this day, even though I don't play it very often, every time my mother and I get together, she wants to hear the Sesame Street song.
Now I'm going to want to hear it every time I see you, Brian.
Okay, all right. Hey, I've honored all your requests so
Yes, you
far.
have.
So, oh yeah,
Absolutely. He does a mean Michael Jackson. Isn't that Michael Jackson's song that you do?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Billie
What is
Jean.
Billie Jean? Yeah, that's it. Right. I
So
guess.
that song. So I came up with this arrangement, and I never quite wrote a song for it. It was just something that I had done, and I had sang things with it before, but then I think it was perhaps it was maybe 2016, 17, somewhere in there. Um, I just I was seeing all these Billie Jean covers going on,
Right.
and I thought about it, and I just kind of got this idea, and I was like, oh, so I tried it, and it was like, oh yeah, this is it. This is really cool. All right, well, that's what this arrangement is for. So
Yes. I like his arrangement of Billie Jean, and I want to know how you hit all those high notes.
falsetto,
Yeah.
falsetto. I really, I really I like that falsetto sound,
You're
and
good at it.
it is something that I've been practicing. You know, it did not come easy, and it still doesn't. Sometimes it just doesn't quite pan out the way I want it to, but
Uh, I
it
get
is
that.
it is a great, yeah, it is a great thing. I really enjoy singing
Yes, you
that.
do it well, Brian. You do
Yeah.
well. The other thing that I ask you, I mean, I want to go on after you win this contest, but I do want to ask you about those beats. I think you mentioned in your bio that you were you living in Tennessee at the time that you were writing these songs and put Billie Jean
No,
together?
no.
Okay.
Those are my roots. I was born in Connecticut,
Ah,
and and we moved down to Tennessee when I was, I mean, I was still a little baby,
yeah,
and I lived there for 8 years. So my, you know, my early childhood was over there, and 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 so I think that just that kind of flavor kind of comes out of me
yes.
because that is, you know, that's my roots, and
Okay.
you know, I mean, I've had people ask me if I was from. Are you from the South? Where are you from? Where are you from? You know, you got that
Yeah.
Southern thing, and I'm, you
Yeah.
know, and so I tell them, you know, it's my early childhood, my roots has got to be what
Uh-huh.
it is. You know,
Yeah.
it's not something that I really try to emulate. It's just how it goes.
It's just part of you.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to admit, the first time I thought I saw you and I heard that, I think the first time I saw you was at Duval. And I thought, what the heck is he playing? It sounds kind of like Southern rock, but then not really. Um, I couldn't put my finger on it. Do you have a name for it, or is it
No, you
your
know,
creation?
a lot of people want to know like what genre is it? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. You tell me what you think. You
Gotcha.
know, yeah, yeah.
I hate to tell you, but at some point when you start putting your music out there and recording it and putting it out, they're going to ask you which
I
genre.
have to.
You have to come up with one.
Okay, well, I'm still trying to figure it out.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Absolutely. So moving on, you just won a contest. So what happened after that?
Oh, okay. Yes. That was high school. So I just kept writing songs, and I was a wrestler too. So
Ah,
I was big into that. I put most of my efforts and energy into wrestling, and then guitar was, you know, when the afterthought of that, and both were really good outlets for me.
yes.
Yes, I actually state champion over here.
Hey, cool.
It was cool. It was
Remind
cool.
me to never
So
get in a fight with you.
yeah, well, luckily I don't have to do anything like that ever. I don't like fighting.
Before I ask you the
So
next, oh,
so
go ahead.
oh, sorry. So after that, you know, after high school, I moved to Seattle, and I was a busker at Pike Place Market for a couple
Really?
years.
I'm proud of
Yep,
that.
yep. I did that, you know, as a, you know, 18, 19-year-old kid. I was out there all the time. And the summer times were great, and the winter times were tough, you know.
Is that what
But
you
it
did
was,
for your job? Was that your job? I mean, is that what you
yeah. I mean, I was very vagabond, you know, just kind of bouncing around, floating around at that time. You know, it was a really great, fun period, pretty amazing. But you know, I was ready to move on and settle down and you know, be more responsible, if you
Yeah,
will. You know, as I got older.
yeah, gotcha. Well, we have a few more comments. Someone says, "Is this Chris Martin?" I don't know why they asked that. Um,
Chris Martin.
yeah, and
Coldplay.
let's see, what does that say? Genre. Uh, I can't read it. They were
Oh,
explaining your genre here. Can you clarify that for me? I don't understand that one. And then,
well, the genre. Well,
yeah,
okay. So
what
here's what
they're calling it GERATORAPP, whatever that means. So
GA.
a genre, GERATOR. I don't know,
I don't
Brian.
know. I don't know.
I've asked him to
But
explain.
it's rock. Okay, it's its own
Okay.
flavor of rock.
Okay.
Is
Got it.
essentially, it gets funky. Sometimes it's jazzy. But all in all, I would say it's its own flavor of
So,
rock.
absolutely. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we settled that.
Okay.
As to the person who called me a beautiful lady, thank you very much. However,
Uh-huh.
you've never seen me in the morning.
Ah,
Anyway, moving on from there. So in 19, you were busking. You decided to settle down. What happened to your music? And the other question is, uh, who were you listening to, or what kind of music were you uh, thinking about wanting to take some licks or whatever from?
Dave Matthews.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I was to pick a favorite artist, I'll tell you that 100 times out of 100. And he's actually the one who inspired me to play guitar better, and do cooler, more complicated things, and try to come up with better rhythm lines while singing singing a different melody that has a different cadence to what I'm playing on the guitar. And that just, I was so amazed by how well he could do that, that that inspired me to try to emulate that type of
Yeah.
sound.
Well, I can't do that. I tried. There's a song that I've been trying to do that I finally just left a 4/4 because what she was singing and the background music are two different things. And I thought that's kind of like boogie woogie. I never could do that on the piano.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. So
So moving on from there, you had did you go to school or have a family, or what was going on between the time that you were busking to the time I saw you at the Duval?
well, so much happened. Okay, so I ended up meeting a girl, and decided that I wanted to settle down, and so I met this girl. We ended up. It was honestly, it was a super toxic thing. So I don't really like to talk about it too much,
Oh, you have
but
to. Yeah.
what I can say is that well, we did end up getting married after she got pregnant with my first oldest child when I was 23 years old. Um, and then I really had to settle down and get to
Okay.
it. And
So
so
where was your music at that time? What were you doing with it?
it kind of went by the wayside for a while. I still played songs, and I still did, open mics once in a while, but it largely went by the wayside.
Well, so after that, what brought you back into the music world? I mean, obviously you weren't doing much of it, but now you seem to be doing, more and more all the time, seeing you in
Well,
different places.
I have to do it. I have to do it. It's my therapy. It's my outlet. I need it. So, although I wasn't really playing out with people, I was still playing, in my living room, or here and there. I never stopped
Yeah.
playing music, and I did write some more songs. Back in 2009, I met a group of folks that are still, to this day, some of my best lifelong friends. because I went to an open mic in Bellevue they don't do it anymore, but it was Damon's Bar and Grill over there in the Overlake area. Maybe that's Redmond.
Yeah.
And so I wrote several songs with them. We recorded like an EP with some songs on it. It was not so great, but it was great for what it was, you know.
Right.
And my songs, you know, they were all my songs. And that was fun. So I had a band, Chase and Chance.
Oh, great. I didn't
Yeah.
know you had one. That's cool.
Yeah, Chase and Chance. You know, and that has always been like an artist identity for me. And the meaning behind Chase and Chance is it's like a test for me to push forward and find cool things to say and cool ways to say it. You know, chance not being like I'm going to take a chance on this, but chant like I'm calling out. So that band was cool. We played out a few, you know, we played in Pioneer Square and, you know, we played a few places, you know, out on the east side. But ultimately, I was getting drowned out. So I kind of lost interest and I was like, okay, you know, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But after that, oh, go ahead. You got a question?
No,
Go.
no.
Okay. Well, so after that, I always would get together with these friends, you know, once a month or twice a month, and we do Saturday night jams at my buddy Damon's house, who is such a cool dude, such a great dude. His name's Damon Thomas. He is the owner of Red Blanket Guitars. Anybody looking for a really awesome, sweet deal from, you know, somebody who really knows their stuff about guitars, redblanketguitars.com.
Noted. Where is that located? Brian, where is he at?
He's located in Bellevue. He has his shop out of his house, but you know, he does online orders all over the world.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like
So, yeah.
good relationship there.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's actually where I got my guitars from. Was
So
from him.
the only thing I think I've seen you play that I remember seeing you play is acoustic guitar. Do you play Did you play electric?
I
Active
can,
role?
but generally I don't.
Okay.
You know, not usually. I have been very much an acoustic guitar kind of guy, because I like to beat it like a drum. I like to, you know,
Yeah.
the percussive qualities of
Right.
an acoustic guitar.
Yeah. I hear that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I prefer the acoustic as well. But I
Mhm.
also play the electric. I just don't play as well as you do. I haven't got that much of a development. I'm so used to playing with bands where they, you know, rhythm players kind of just part of it all. So I don't need to
Yeah.
stand out and do all that. That's the lead's job, not mine.
Right. I get that, and I agree with that. Sometimes I like just being on the mic and not playing guitar, you know, because there's so many amazing people that play so well, you know.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I really like music. I like it because it's original. It's different. And I had a chance to see you at the Carnation Cafe where you play for people who are getting their dinner. And it just so happened that after I got through with my interview, I was in the I don't want to cook. I usually don't want to cook. We go up. And we happened to hit the cafe, the Carnation Cafe that night
Mhm.
in Carnation, and you were playing, and I heard some of your original music. I saw your wife, your beautiful wife, and
Yes.
your very busy little boy. he,
Oh,
he
yeah.
was,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I got
so,
two busy little boys.
oh, you have to. Oh,
Yeah, I got a 4 and 5-year-old.
oh my gosh.
They were both there.
They
Yeah.
were both there. Oh, okay. I thought they were somebody else's. And they were sitting at a picnic table right in front of our table. And I had this glass, and the table was wiggling. I kept waiting for that glass to come down as they
Oh
were
boy.
kind of having a good time there. But anyway, so it sounds to me like when did you start going, I'd like you're more kind of starting over. When
Mhm.
did you start going out and playing these gigs again and doing your guitar work and writing
Uh,
songs?
well, so I'm a carpenter by trade, and
Oh, my father was.
yeah, and I was doing a remodel job out in Green Lake,
Ah,
and my musician friends that are out in the community have been saying, Brian, you got to get out to the Nectar Lounge. You got to go to Mo Jams on Mondays. You got to go to Mo Jams. Mo Jam is yo jam. Love Mo Jams, dude. Seriously, it's so cool. It's at the Nectar Lounge every Monday night. The signups are at 7:30, and the jams go from 8 to 12. And what they do is they put depending on what you play, they just put different bands together.
oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a random set of folks that get up at one time with no plan. You're making up songs as you go,
Cool.
and so that was back in October of last year when
Okay.
I first started going, and once I
Glad
went,
you did.
oh boy, I was hooked. Hooked. It is such a beautiful, amazing thing to go and do. It's very good for you, and there's an awesome community of folks out there. It's
Yes.
so great. So I started going every week. I was there every week until that job ended, and and
Oh,
uh, and since that job ended, it's been a little more difficult to get out there. But now that I'm at my buddy's studio here in Seattle, so I'm going to No Jams tonight.
great.
Yeah.
So, have you decided to officially record your music and put it out there in an album or by singles?
Yeah, I'm still working on putting the pieces together for that, and and the funding, and just
Yeah.
getting things worked out for
Yeah.
the ability to make that happen. It is definitely in the works up here, and the relationships that I've been able to build
Yes.
over the last year has really made it more of a reality. That it's coming. It's coming.
Good.
The music
Good.
is coming.
All right.
Um, and
I
yes, and once we have it, we'll have it out on all the platforms.
So we're going to have to follow you for that.
Oh yeah,
Do you have a website set up yet?
I do not have a website set up. Again, this is all in the works.
And money.
I have just been trying to really just exercise my songs and hone my craft as best as I can. And I do have an amazing community around me that is going to
Yes.
help me
Yes.
move these things forward.
Great.
So
Super.
I'm just super grateful for the process. I'm not in a hurry. I'm just going to let things come as they do, and accept the opportunities that I get.
Yeah. It costs
Yeah.
money. And if two young
Mhm.
boys at home and um, it
Right.
all costs
And I
money.
also have two teenagers,
Oh my
teenage girls.
goodness. Jeez.
Yes, with my
Brian, you
with
don't
my
look old
with
enough to have teenagers.
yeah, yeah. My oldest is going to be is 17. It's going to be
Oh
18
my
in November.
gosh.
Yep, and then yep, and she's amazing. And then her younger sister is 15, going to be 16 in February or January. January.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
and and they live with their mom in Bothell. So, it is
Yeah.
just
Yay.
my wife and I and the two boys at home, but I also have them, and we do spend some
Are
good
they
quality time
showing
together.
any interest in music?
Yes, they
Good.
both love to play the ukulele. They
Ah,
sing. I got my oldest a guitar for her birthday, 15, for I don't remember, but she has a guitar too, and yeah, they like the music. And my
pretty soon
youngest
you can have
son,
your own band, right?
Yeah. My youngest son, he's 4, and he has been saying things in cadence
Oh,
since he was
yeah.
a very little child. So I expect to be blown away by him at some point, like already have been. Kid blows me away.
Well, let's hope so. I hope he keeps it up.
Hmm.
My thinking is that if they're hearing this when they're children, even in before they are born, that sticks somehow. So
Yeah,
hopefully he'll follow and produce really good music too. So what
absolutely.
so what were you doing during COVID? I mean, were you I said you just October of last year is when you started doing your appearances at open mics and jams. And um, were you were you creating any? Did your work stop? Did you create any music during that time? Did you have time off, or how did that work for you?
In January of 2020, before everything shut down,
Yeah.
I had decided to pack up all my stuff and drive across the country and live in Ohio.
Oh,
The moving truck, I'm in the moving truck. I've stopped for the evening. I'm in Iowa. Uh,
oh, of all places.
and then I get notifications on my phone about all the shutdowns happening here. And and I was, yeah, so I mean, it hit while I was on the way over as far as the shutdowns go. So we got there, found a house, got a new job, but I was able to play actually some open mics that I don't know. Ohio was a little less. It was a little more lax.
Yeah.
I mean, you still had to wear masks. You still had to do these things, but this pizza place that I was at, where I made some really cool friends, and I was able to go in there and play some songs, once a week, and I had a lot of fun. And I did write some songs there. Some songs that I play now were originally came out of me while I was over there, and some other songs that came out of me are still being exercised before I perform them. You know, um, but it was really awesome. And I also have a friend over there. His name's Larry. I think I met him on a Facebook musician group thing, and I was just looking for people to hang out with and play with, and we ended up hooking up. And he plays drums, and we had a good old time. Oh, Lareth, yes, he was very good. He's a
I would
very
like to
good.
heard that.
Yeah, it was so cool, and we actually did get to play one show in Eaton. I think it's called Taffy's. Is the place. Really cool music venue, and we live streamed it, and I had a great time. Yeah, it was really awesome.
That sounds
Um,
good.
so we were in Ohio for about 16 months. Um, my wife hated it over there.
Yeah.
Between being in a new place and having the COVID shutdowns, and the parks outside are closed, everything's closed, and she's just stuck, in the house, getting cabin fever, and she begged to come home.
Oh,
And I kept getting phone calls for job offers out here. And, I just, all these different signs kept coming, just
come back.
head back.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, let's go. And so we
Glad,
came back.
glad you came back.
Yeah, we came back June of 21.
Okay. I had a job that sent me to West Virginia for, um, I think it was a couple months or a year, or almost 2 years. And
Hmm.
I visited Ohio, and I know that area, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia, people are a little different than here.
It's a
And
different culture for
yeah,
sure.
it really
Yeah.
is. Yep.
Mhm.
So I could see why she'd want to come back. I would too. But
Mm.
anyway, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, I am too.
And the one thing I apologize for is that I didn't ask you to play. I should have had you play your guitar.
I have my guitar.
You want to play something?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So what I'm
Me.
going to do, Brian, is I'm going to shut me off. They don't need to see
Okay.
me, and they'll see you. And just let us know when you're ready, and I'll remove myself.
Okay.
I'm here, but you
Andrew
won't see
Andrew
me.
is pulling the guitar out for me right now. I think I got enough space to do this.
Okay, great.
And
We got
hopefully
to
it
hear
doesn't
your
get too
beat.
loud or whatever, because I
Well,
have a tendency to sing much louder than I.
okay. It's okay, Brian. I want them to
Okay.
hear that beat.
Yes. Okay. Let's see what I got here. See if I got a pick. You didn't. Did you look inside the little? What's the little flap in there? Thank you, dude.
All right. Now don't panic. You won't be able to see or hear me, okay?
Okay.
All right. You're all on your own, Brian. Folks, this first song is what all musicians do. It's a new song called Tuning.
It's an age-old song. No? Okay. I'm playing without a pick. All right. What to play? This song's called Cage. Every time we go out, we're gonna kiss, we're gonna shout, we're gonna keep on rocking now. That's what this song is all about. And even if you didn't get it, it doesn't mean you wouldn't with it. And I would never leave you out. That's what this song is all about. But keep getting up, keep on climbing out of the hole that you dug, the one you dug for yourself. You didn't need any help. And by now I hope that you figured it out. You gotta turn it around and figure yourself out. Cause every time that we get out, we're gonna twist, we're gonna shout. We're gonna keep on rocking now. That's what this song is all about. I'm breaking out of my cage. I'm breaking out of my cage. I'm breaking out of my cage. And every now and then something coming starting to change. Why does it feel like something's always getting taken away? I try to change and rearrange it, but it all stays the same. And I can see it's time that I break on out of my cage. When the balls are far and wide, and tell me why do we stay inside? It doesn't make you feel safe, so you could have a good day. Oh, every time I try to go outside of the lines, something's stuck in my way, and when it's making me crazy. crazy. I'm breaking out of my cage. I'm breaking out of my cage. I'm breaking out of my cage. And then reality is slapping me right in the face. Why does it feel like something's always being taken away? I try to change it, rearrange it, but it all stays the same. And I can see it's time that I break on out of my cage. Cause every time that we go out, we're gonna kiss, we're gonna shout. We're gonna keep on rocking now. Come on, let's bring it to them now. I'm breaking out of my cage. I'm breaking out of my cage. I'm breaking out of my cage.
Bravo. I loved it. Thank you,
Thank
Brian.
you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, there's two things I noticed. Number one, the beat is different. The feel of it is not the normal. It's very original. And number two, you sing from the heart.
Yes, yeah. It's the only way that like I said, it's an outlet. You know, it's an outlet, and that just, yeah, sing from here. Yeah, absolutely.
So when we get through, if you go on Matured Musicians,
Mhm.
you after about maybe 5 minutes, you'll be able to see the comments on here. And I'm
Okay.
asking people that are watching, if you'd be so good as to comment. I'm
Oh,
sure
yes.
you find these interesting, so please do. And then
Okay.
maybe you can
Okay.
respond to them when you have a minute.
Okay. That sounds great.
All right. With that being said, where are you said tonight you're going to be at was it Nectar's? No,
Yeah, Nectar Lounge.
Nectar
The
Lounge.
Nectar Lounge in Fremont. I'm gonna be doing the Mojams. I'm gonna get up on the mic and hang out with all the other musicians, and we're gonna make stuff up.
Yay.
Yeah, I love doing that. And then at some point later in the evening, I'm headed over to the Sea Monster Lounge, where there is a very, it's like Good Vibe Central. There's like a jam they do. They don't do it on the stage. They go on the dance floor. Everybody plays in a circle. It is so wonderful.
Sonic circles.
It was so cool. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
and
done
that's
that.
also tonight.
Yes.
Then,
Okay. Where are
yeah.
these located? Where is the Sea Monster Lounge located?
The Sea Monster Lounge is in Wallingford, right on 45th, just west of the freeway
Okay.
of I-5. Yep, it's just if you're heading west on 45th from the freeway, it'll be right there on your right-hand side, just next to the Taco Time.
Okay, there you go. If you want to head out there and hear some good music, do. So
yeah, it's pretty
after
cool.
this, you usually come out on Sundays. I didn't see you this last Sunday, but usually you're out jamming with the band. Unfortunately, I have a hard time hearing the words because they kind of outplay you. They're too loud, so it's hard to hear what you're saying. So, but I know you've already been at a jam. Where were you? What do you go to before you get there? Are you at a jam before you come to the Duval? No.
No. I just Sundays are. I love going to the Twin Dragon in Duval and playing. Lynn Sorensen is so amazing, and so the owner had asked me to come out, and when I finally got around to doing it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting. Why did I wait so long? But the only reason I didn't make it out last night because I was out on the river all day. I didn't get home until like 9:30.
Good place to be in that heat.
It just wasn't. Yeah, it just wasn't happening.
I hear you. Well, it was nice and cool in there. That's one thing I'll say for sure. But their machines have broken down so that you couldn't use your credit card and you couldn't use their oh, I don't know what that called. Where you,
Oh, darn, I hate when that happens.
yeah, well, you couldn't get money
Yeah,
from in there. So
those
my
those
the
poor
Kurt
people.
drove to Safeway and he got some money, or we would have starved. But
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
so you can
Geez.
see Brian there most Sunday nights, right?
Yes, yeah, and there's other jams that
Yeah.
Wednesday last week, I, I I'm doing a remodel in Snohomish,
Oh,
and
yeah.
yes,
Fun.
and
At the Oxford? Oh,
no. But there's a jam up in Arlington, which is a little
oh,
bit
yeah.
further north,
Mirkwood?
and at the Mirkwood, yes,
Yeah, I
Mirkwood
go there.
Public House. I had
Chris
never
Hager.
been there before, and oh my
Oh,
gosh, yes.
yeah,
So
Richard Williams. He's crazy drummer.
yeah,
Crazy good
both of those two guys,
guitarist,
I got to
singer.
hang out with them, and yes, I got to hang out with them, and I got to play my songs, and it was so exciting. It was so much fun. What a great room, and what a cool
Yeah,
bunch of
venue.
folks.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're great. Yes. I've had
Hmm.
him twice now. He's been on my program. And he's
Yeah.
got a show. There's a song. One of the things that we talked about was a song that he did, that I did with my band when it came out. And it was done by a man named Eric Heatherly, who's sort of a vintage kind of guy. And he
Hmm.
changes the beat to really interesting beats to some of these older songs, right? And
Yeah.
he's got a concert coming up. I believe it's in October with Eric Heatherly. He plays with him. And this guy is, all over the place. He's been a national star, etc. But he's just really a performer and a half. So when those two get together, it's really special. But that's how I kind of got into talking to Chris, and otherwise I probably would have just ignored him. And
Huh.
he is,
That's
yes, it's a
awesome.
fun jam, absolutely. On Wednesday nights, I believe it's, what is that, 7 to
Eight.
11? 8 to 11?
Yeah, it's 8. I think signups are before then. I showed up.
Okay.
I saw that it was 8 to something, and I showed up about 8 o'clock, and there's a long list of people in front of me.
Yeah,
So
okay, because
mhm,
I think it might start at 7, but I don't know.
maybe
We just go out there and get there really early.
right. So
Okay.
one more thing. There's one more
Yeah.
thing I wanted to tell everybody,
Yeah.
which I don't know how I didn't say this before. A couple months ago, I was asked to join a group of really awesome players uh, to see if I could front their band,
Yeah.
and
That's exciting.
it is so cool. Everybody in the band is just so awesome. I was very honored and grateful to be even considered. And they, I mean, from the very first bar of music, we connected. And so
Yes.
I do have a new band, and we are currently we are actually booked at the Twin Dragon on November
Oh,
11th.
where? When?
November 11th.
Oh, great.
At
That's
the Twin
wonderful,
Dragon.
Brian. I'll
Yes,
definitely be there.
excellent.
And
The
so that's
name,
Twin Dragon Bar and Grill in Duval, Washington. And do
mm,
show up. And it was what time? 7 to 11 or
8 to 12.
8 to 12. Okay.
Yep.
How did
Secret
you,
team meeting.
how did Michael get a hold of you to tell you come up and jam? It was,
It was at the Sunday Jam.
oh,
Yeah, it was the last Sunday Jam I went to. He said, you want to come in and do a show? I was like,
oh,
yeah,
that's
man.
wonderful. That's wonderful. Yes. Okay. Well, that's exciting. Now I'm all cranked.
Yeah. The name of the band is Secret Team Meeting.
Secret
Team
team
Meeting.
meeting. Secret team
Secret
meeting.
Team
That's cool.
Meeting.
All right. Do I know any of these people?
So I've got Don Baugh on drums. I've got Brian Hughes on bass. I have Rick Raday on keys, and Jason Knight on guitar. and oh my gosh, they are so good.
All right.
It's so cool. We have so much fun every time we get together. It's really a great group.
Can you post this or some kind of a notification about the gig at the Twin Dragon and some of the places that you're going? If you put that on a mature musician, since you have a website, that would help. It's like writing a
Okay.
message from Messenger. So whenever you want to
Okay.
tell us where you're going to be.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes. Yes. And
So
we'll get a website and have a calendar at some point here coming up too.
great. Yes. All right. The other thing I want to ask you is, do you see a 5-year plan, or do you have some idea where you want to go? I mean, now you're starting with the band. That's great news. And the fact that you do solo gigs at Carnation, and we forgot one other place. I think it's the third Wednesday, is it, of every month?
Last Wednesday of
Carnation?
every month.
At Miller's,
Yes, Miller's.
Carnation.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yes.
that is a place.
That
You got to
place,
go there
that
once.
room is so amazing. It's so I
Natural
love
acoustics.
Miller's.
Yes.
Yes, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, and they even clapped for me.
Well, of course they did.
So, it was fun. I enjoyed that, and
Yeah.
it was the people there were. I didn't get to stay long. I hadn't eaten, and I hadn't eaten for hours and hours, and I just have to eat, otherwise I crash. So I left early, but I next time I hope to stay.
Cool.
But yeah,
I
do
closed
remember
out the
people.
evening that night. That night I closed out, and it sounded so good. I just played cover songs actually.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
was
that's every third Wednesday, is it?
last Wednesday
Last
of every
Wednesday
month.
of every
Last
month.
Wednesday.
And what's the time from 6 to 8?
Signups are at 6 o'clock. First performance is at 6:30.
There we go.
And I think the last is like 9. I don't know. They've got so many slots that they fill up.
Yeah.
I think the last one was like 9 o'clock. So
You get 2 songs. So I think
songs.
what was it, 10 or 15 minutes? I can't remember. I think it's like 10 minutes.
Well, if you want to play a really long time, long songs or whatever, it's supposed to be like 10 minutes, but usually, it turns into a little bit more.
Longer.
But yeah, between depending on what the content is, what the songs are that they play, and set up, it just tends to run a little late. So if you're one of the last people and you think you're playing at 9 o'clock, you're actually going to play a little bit later.
Okay. Good. Well, they do serve wine, and do they serve beer there? I don't know. I'm not a drinker.
Yeah. They serve beer and wine, and
Soft
sodas and soft drinks, and
but not necessarily for food. However, you can bring in. There's a I always say this wrong. Extapa.
Oh, Extapa. Yeah, is
right across the street.
there.
And you
It
can
is
bring
so
your
good.
food in. You can bring your food in and eat it while you're listening. So we hope to see you there next time, because we didn't catch you last time.
I'm leaving town the next morning, but I do intend to be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Yep.
So
Okay.
so you're looking at a new band, more appearances to help with your fan base. And so what, are there other plans coming up that we need to know about? You hope to be posting some of this so we can follow you?
Yeah, I don't know about any other future plans. I'm just trying to, like I said before, I'm just trying to take things as they come. Take things as they come, and just be the best I can be in that moment.
All right. Well, that's good enough for me.
Yeah. Okay.
So we have about 6 more minutes, and I think we covered a lot of bases in this time.
Oh yeah, indeed.
One thing I don't know is, what do you play a Martin? What is the guitar that you prefer?
Oh, it's an Ovation, custom Legend.
Okay.
Yes, it's got it is, of all the guitars I've ever owned, the greatness of all those guitars put together still doesn't hold a candle to how much that guitar just sings like a bird. And it
Does
was
it
just,
have a round body? I never noticed
it
that.
does. Yep, it's got the round back like all Ovations do. And I was able to sit here and play it, and I didn't have any issues. So
I didn't even
not,
notice. Gosh, I got to go back and watch this so I can. Okay.
yeah.
Well, I did want to tell you a little bit about YouTube. You're live out there. I did go through. And
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
so
the live link I sent you
yeah, no,
from
this
Rachel
is
Hoover.
going through just like it's coming through here. It's also going
Oh,
through
okay.
YouTube. And
Oh,
there are
cool.
people
All
from
right.
all over that watch that. So I will send you the link so that you can watch it or send it to anybody else who wants it. Or if you're listening and you want to show somebody the link, it's interview with Brian Burnette, and it'll come up. It probably
Okay.
give it a few minutes after we end the interview before it shows. And I'll send you that, Brian. I'll send you that link.
Thank you.
All right.
It's really been a pleasure. Thank you so much again for having me out here, and to all the people that are listening. Thank you for hanging
You're
out
very
with
welcome,
us.
Brian. You're
Yeah.
very welcome. It's been a pleasure. Also, well, that escaped my mind. Oh, I wanted to know if the guy, your friend, who's supplying this background here and whose studio you're in, would like to give a shout out to what the studio is.
Absolutely. His name is Andrew Carroll, and he has a podcast called Ashe All Day, and
Oh, cool.
he is a really really cool dude. And I'm actually, once we're done here, I'm gonna do a podcast with him.
Oh,
And
that's fun.
yeah, and we're gonna talk about all kinds of cool stuff.
So how am I going to get to see this podcast?
I will. So you look up Andrew Carroll for one. Andrew, Carroll.
Okay.
Andrew Carroll. I can send you. I could also send you
Okay.
his profile.
Well, I'd love to watch that.
He does some really cool stuff, and you know, he gets really in depth with, you know, personal growth and feelings, and
Okay.
you know, accepting things as they are, and having gratitude, and so many awesome things. And I think you're really gonna like it.
Can he stick his head in our screen?
Yeah, I think he can. Andrew,
Hey, Andrew.
Andrew, can you come say hi? Yes, sir. Can we put this? Here you go. There you go.
Hi, Andrew.
How's it going? How are you?
Oh, I don't know how it's going, but I've enjoyed it.
Excellent.
So I hear.
Brian sounded amazing as always.
Yeah.
One of my favorite musicians
Yes.
in Seattle.
Thanks, buddy.
Right. I also understand you have a podcast. Can you spell that for me? Because I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Oh, absolutely. So Ashe is A-X-E, and the E has an accent over it.
Okay.
Yep, and it's all day.
Ashe all day.
Three separate words. Yep, Ashe all day.
And what is Ashe? What is that?
Ashe to me is praise, worship, gratitude, giving thanks, being present, going outside and being involved in play and conscious movement, and just a celebration of life.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, I'll be watching today. And is that every week? Is that weekly?
It comes out sporadically. I'm in the middle of a coding boot camp right now. This is my final week of it, so it interrupted my rhythm for producing the show.
Okay.
But after this Friday, I plan to be very intentional with my content creation and
Okay.
my art, my passion, my heart. Build the business and change lives.
Perfect. Thank you for coming and showing us your podcast is about to be played today. And
excellent.
We know how now to get to it. I'll be watching. And does it have a place where after our show we can, if some people can't watch it because they're working, does it stay on YouTube, or where does it live, or does it just
Yeah,
go
so
away?
it's available on YouTube. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much any listening platform you can find it. If you look up my social media, everything I do is I am Andrew Carroll. So if you find me on Instagram or Facebook or any of that kind of stuff,
Okay.
SoundCloud, you'll be able to find a bunch of my poetry on SoundCloud. All
right.
kinds of stuff out there.
Okay. Well, thank you for dropping by.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for asking me.
So everybody, you can see more of Brian on this podcast coming up. With that, I have to say goodbye, Brian. It's 1 o'clock.
Okay.
I did
Thank you so
enjoy.
much.
You're
Yes.
welcome. I hope
All
to
right.
see you down the line and definitely catch you at the ball and see your podcast.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
See
Thank
ya.
you.
Bye-bye.
Well, that does it for today. Ashe. I don't know what the rest of it is, but if he sends me a link, if Brian sends me a link, I'll be more than happy to send it to you. And I will look this up to see if I can find it. In the meantime, I hope you have a good rest of your week. Heat and all, stay cool. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye, guys.